We'd like to bring in now Democratic Senator John Hickenlooper, representing Colorado. He's there now. Also a former mayor of Denver and governor of the state of Colorado. Senator, thanks very much for joining us. And I want to ask you about, you were on Twitter last night on Transgender Day of Remembrance, basically, is what it was. And you wrote, and I'm just going to quote it, "This community is paying with their lives for the rise in hate and bigotry. Even in a safe space like Club Q, we have to do more than remember victims," you say, "giving people freedom to be who they are, love who they love, and live full lives." So I just wonder, is there a role? First, you're in the Congress right now. Sometimes we think of it as a Congress that doesn't get a lot done, but in recent months and years, it seems to have been able to get after some big issues. Is there a federal role here?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, it's such a tragedy that this is in any way political. This is one of those issues where our country has to come together, Republicans and Democrats, and recognize that we are terrorizing ourselves. Our worst rivals, our worst enemies, Russia, China, couldn't do a better job of demoralizing us than to have mass shootings in places of celebration, places of worship, places of communion. It is so frustrating that we still make this into a political discussion. And we're way past when we should stop politicizing it, and we should come together and look at, all right, do we need more red flag laws? How do we make those fair, protect people's, their civil rights? How do we make sure that, guns don't end up in the hands of dangerous individuals?
Yeah, that's a great point, that it does seem like after every shooting, first the shock wears off, and then everybody goes to their political corners to make their political points. But you, in this tweet, I want to read it again, this community's paying with their lives for the rise in hate and bigotry. Who do you hold responsible for this attack, Senator?
Well, I hold us all responsible. Obviously, you can point fingers. That's not the way you solve problems. There is a lot of hate speech and a lot of bigotry everywhere now, and people who disagree with how others choose to love, or who they choose to love, or who they want to marry. I mean, love is love is love. That's the mantra that I thought we had all agreed to as a country, and that there were isolated remnants that hung on to their hate-filled, twisted vision of what America is, and they wanted to try and somehow restore traditional values. That hate speech only causes pain and suffering for innocent people and their families. Who in this country doesn't have family members that are part of the LGBTQ community?
And I want to ask about, since you were governor of the state, there is a law on the books in Colorado, a red flag law. It seems at this early stage of what we know to have failed here at some juncture in its enforcement. Is the red flag law enough? Do you have any sense as to why it wasn't working, it wasn't activated here, given that this man, this suspect, was arrested for making bomb threats and an alleged attempted kidnapping of his mother, someone you wouldn't think should have a legal right to an AR-15?
You're exactly right. And we're going to analyze exactly what happened and what changes, if any, we need to make to the red flag laws, how that intersects with our purchase laws, and making sure that people don't have a red flag on them when they're buying an AR-15. I think that crucial to this, though, is, again, we as a country have to come together and agree we're going to address this. And it doesn't have to involve taking away guns or threatening what some people view as their Second Amendment rights. It really is about us saying, listen, we've had over 600 mass shootings this year, where at least 4 people were shot. That's unacceptable. It's unique to the United States. Other countries have mental health issues, but they aren't always turning to pistols and rifles to carry out their fantasies. We have to address, here's where America is, and that's not what any of us want. How do we move to a safer.
Now, we were having a little trouble there. So we will say goodbye and thank you very much to Senator John Hickenlooper for joining us on this story. Thanks very much as a leader in that state. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.